Okay, welcome back. This is part 2 of my Stevenage onslaught to the Premiership. This will probably feature these fixtures, which will be the Dover game, the Bristol City game and the Plymouth game in the Capital One Cup. So just 3 games. It'll be nicely chopped and changed so you can see all the highlights again. I am going to be looking for a couple of players. I have signed a couple of youngsters which I'm hoping for a little bit of a progression from them for the future, but I'm going to be a bit of a wheeler dealer. Although I have got some cash to spend, I'm going to try and keep the money flowing in nicely and build up the finances and try and get promoted with the squad that I've got, in the hope that, you know, if I do go up into the next league above, then perhaps I can spend a bit more cash, really. Had a few good results in the first three games. Managed to stay unbeaten, a couple of 1-1 draws and a 4-1 victory. So again, I've signed this Mikael Andersson. He is, a decent sort of goalkeeper for a 23-year-old, and I'm hoping he will sort of progress a bit more, so that as we go up and as he gets older, he will reach his peak, and he'll be a fairly decent sort of championship goalkeeper. I am going to go and accept that, and then we shall look to the Dover game, and we'll give him a run out, sort of nice sort of fairly simple run out on that one. Apologies if my vocals over this are a bit windy, I think is the best way to explain it, as my microphone is pretty naff. I will have to look to upgrade it. I am going to give them a high league bonus and a low cup bonus. I don't really want to waste any time with cup runs, but the third round of the FA Cup would be sort of the furthest I really want to go with it. I do want to just focus on League One, as you can't get into the Premiership by winning the FA Cup, and to be honest, I'm not really likely to win the FA Cup with Stevenage at this point. I am going to stick with the team I've got, apart from obviously Belek, who will be away on international duty, and obviously, as we've got Anderson on loan, he is on loan with a buy later clause. I think it was 350 grand. So like I said, I want to be saving up, because if he's a good goalkeeper, then I can put in a fairly decent offer and get him in. So I will start Danny Lopez up top, and we shall drop a nice defender in there just to make up the numbers, really. I've got an idea of, this is sort of the rough team I want to be playing, in League One, but obviously I do need a fairly decent depth of the squad if I'm looking to push on a bit. My one biggest gripe with Football Manager is it's a lot of loading. There is, teams are warming up when really it is just a little bit of a loading screen. And obviously, it's a big game, so it does take a lot to load. But if they could reduce that time, then you can get through a season a lot quicker. And as I'm not particularly great at talking whilst doing things, or reading whilst doing things as well, I'm not the best. I tend to ignore the wife a lot when I read. So apologies if I just suddenly go quiet and not pay attention. So we'll kick off, obviously Dover in the black and white, Stevenage in their usual familiar colours of red and white. It's not an explosive game. Clearly, after 21 minutes, nothing has happened. Kind of leaves me sort of the job of chatting, normally spouting absolute rubbish. And at half time, 0-0. So pretty dull first half. I think we're going to tell them just to sort of just keep going. But I'm going to put it a little bit more attacking and see how we go with that. And I hope we can maybe scrape a win. See if we get any luck with that. Don't want to mess around too much with the tactics. I've got the way I want to play. Just got to get them used to it. And if you keep chopping and changing what you do, then it takes them longer to learn. Because evidently at the beginning of every season, your players forget what they were doing, and then you need to reteach them again. Again, 60 minutes now. We've had the only 2 real highlights, and well, it's a weak goal, but it's a goal. It's been disallowed. That's going to sum up the game, I think. That was a push. So I think I might make a substitution. It's not looking all of that great at the moment, and James down in midfield is looking a bit tired. So we'll give the youngster, Mr. Ball, a run in midfield. Don't want to change too much else. We'll stick with that. Oh dear, bit of an attack from Dover, and it's 1-0 to Dover. That's pretty poor. That's very poor, to be honest. Good goal, good passing, good counter attack. Really, it's something I want to sort of encourage the Stevenage team to do. Just what we need is an injury. We'll play Moraes then down the right hand side, and he's my second choice, but not a bad little player. We'll see how the season progresses, obviously. Who's going to be worth keeping and who's going to be dead wood. But it looks like Dover are going to take all 3. Well, not 3 points, but they're going to take the victory. That's a penalty. I didn't see anything wrong there. But I'm not going to complain. You don't see too many managers complaining when their team gets a penalty. Tansy's got a very, very strong penalty taking statistic. I think it's 17. So chance of him missing penalties is going to be very, very slim this season. And we'll take that. A 1-1 victory. A 1-1 victory, yeah. You can tell it's night time. A 1-1 draw. But that's not what we wanted. Against Dover, you should be looking to do better than that. We'll give them a bit of a rollicking. Nothing major, just tell them to put their ideas up when it comes out to your competitive game. But that is still an unbeaten pre-season so far, with one more. I think that's one more match to go, isn't it? Bristol City, which is going to be a bit of a test. Obviously, if you look at some of the teams we've got this season, teams like MK Dons, Portsmouth, although they went down in real life, they're not going to be a walkover in this game, because no one had obviously any idea how bad a season they were going to have, which is a shame for Portsmouth, really. It's a shame to see a team that was once in the Premiership suddenly in the bottom tier of English football. But that's how it's been for the past few years. I've seen the likes of Charlton and Leeds dropping down, and they've really struggled to push up. Leeds, comfortably sitting obviously where they are now, but they just need that little bit of an extra boost, I think, to make a final charge. Again, it's these loading screens. It just takes so long to go from game to game. It does when you do these, these commentaries over these games. You find yourself talking about absolutely nothing and anything you can think of. Oh, speaking of Leeds, Paul Connolly. I tend to sort of avoid agent sort of offers, because they just, you know, you find yourself paying a lot of money for a player that tends to be naff. I need to submit my squad. Just auto select that, because it does tend to just throw everybody in, so that's good. We've got the one more pre-season game, which will be Bristol City, and then the Plymouth game, and then that will be part 2, and I will do part 3 when it comes to the start of the season, the first game. See again, you know, a 31-year-old. I don't want to be looking to sign. I always get so tempted. I tend to look at everyone and go, oh yeah, I'll buy him, and you end up with a squad that's, you know, about 25, 30 members, and you know, you end up having to weed it all out again and rebuilding it, and it then disrupts the harmony of the squad. You know, I've got 31 numbers assigned, you know, so I have got quite a large squad, and I will look at who is good and who isn't, and then January I'll try and offload a few, save a bit more money, you know. So I'm going to make a few changes because I want to keep my team fit for the Plymouth game, so I will sort of throw out a slightly weaker squad. Keep the legs fresh for the important games. I say a slightly weak squad, you know, they're not weak players. I've got quite a good sort of depth, except for the left side of defence. It tends to be nobody, so we'll look at getting another one. Let's give Freeman a run down the left as well. Ballack is still away on international, so I'll play, I think it's Haber or Haber, I don't really know, and I will go with that. I do have to get a left defender. I think it's going to be the one transfer I really look at. So both teams are warming up, all standing in position, ready. And they're saying that Bristol City will probably win, and I would be inclined to agree. But stranger things do happen in pre-season. Go out and make an impression. Go and impress me. Tell me why you should play in the Plymouth game. Right, so we get the game underway. I think we're probably going to see quite a bit of attacking from Bristol City, but if my defence can soak up that pressure, then oh dear, that's going to be a red card. Did anybody? I mean, I saw that he'd come about 10 yards out of his box then, and nothing happened. I'm not going to complain, but good old Football Manager. Bugs and glitches. That said, I have seen a goalkeeper sent off for that, which is kind of strange. Oh dear. So far, Anderson proving to be a not a great signing. Not great, but you know. Oh, that's a quick hit back there. 1-1. Maybe it's not going to be so much of a Bristol City walkover. We can only hope. Let's see if our goalkeeper can stay in his box. I might play him up front next game, seeing as if he wants to come out so far. Good spread wide. And Moraes to cross it in. He does. And I tell you what, that's 2-1. And that is not a bad start at all. I like that. But you can probably rely on Bristol City to come back. And here's Maloney. Well, good save, Anderson. Tips it over the bar. Our defence sort of parted like the Red Sea there. They just opened up and let him have a crack. But that's Howard's cross. Ooh, Elliott blasting wide. Not a bad effort. If we can come in at half time 2-1 up, that's going to be quite good, and I'll be quite happy with that. But I'm not going to hold my breath too much. And instead hitting the bar there. That's I actually think the attacker was going to run onto that then, but he didn't. But that's good. 2-1 at half time. I have to agree with my assistant there. We are doing well. Keep it up. And start the second half. I might tell them to try and retain possession a little bit later, just to slow the tempo down. Although I have asked, the tactics I've implemented is quite a fast tempoed passing game. But I will try and tell them to keep it under control a bit. We want to keep the ball. They can't score if they haven't got the ball. So another injury. So we'll have to get Shroot on them. And taking a few injuries to the right hand side though. Although Shroot obviously didn't have to take a big injury from last game. Right, so if you guys could just keep hold of the ball, that would be nice, and try and see this game out. Uh, 93rd minute then, it's all over, and that's a good victory. 1-0 down to come back. Definitely take that. That's not bad at all. I think we'll leave it at that then, and I'll see you in part 3. I think we'll give it leave it here.